Yeah.
For as much as attention Lillard gets, I'm surprised that they still consider him not getting attention. Like, that's all they freaking talk about.
Yeah.
You know?
He gets attention. The attention that he gets is that he doesn't get any attention.
No, the stupid thing, Lillard gets plenty of attention.
Yeah.
Like, he is a mega star. He's always on Sports Center.
Yeah.
Like, this whole idea that Lillard's always snubbed. When is Lillard going to be held accountable for not winning in the playoffs?
Do you think Luka is getting a free pass right now for, record and all that?
A free pass? I mean, well, yes, I do. Every player on his level and all-stars, they're given a free pass their first 6 years. Giannis won back-to-back MVPs. He will not win another MVP unless he wins a championship.
Yeah.
He was given the free pass. James Harden, same free pass. And now he doesn't get a free pass. Luka will get the same treatment. He'll get a free pass, but after 6 years and they
Maybe
continue to hover around 500 and they don't, advance anywhere in the playoffs, people will stop talking about him. They'll start talking about him like Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, people talk about, the tide is kind of starting to turn on Luka a little bit.
So quickly.
Clearly, the media and GMs and fans, they all still respect Luka and hold him in high regard because he got voted in by all of those groups. But there is starting to be a little more talk about how he can't get it done, his team isn't good enough. And, it's like he's in his third year. But like you said, you don't really hear that about a Damian Lillard.
No.
Who, that
what
team
has
isn't very
Lillard
good.
done in his career for us to sit here and talk about how he should be a perennial starter?
Do you think that Lillard and Luka are held to a different standard?
Of course, I do. I think
because you have a theory on that.
Well, there are certain players that are given a free pass, and there are certain players that are not. And I think subconsciously we hold some players to a higher standard. They don't get that free pass
because we
think they should lead their teams to the championship every year.
Because we know how great they are.
Exactly. And then there's some players who are really good. They're always on SportsCenter, always on highlight reels, always hitting game winners, but we don't expect them to win the championship.
Yeah.
And that's where Lillard is.
Yeah.
And since Lillard is not expected subconsciously in our heads for him to win a championship because he's just not good enough, he gets a free pass. I've never seen a guy not have any success in the playoffs, and we just love him. Whereas other players like Harden and Durant and LeBron and Dirk, all these players,
they get torched.
They get torched for not winning. Even Kobe, after Shaq left for those years, got torched because he didn't win. Yet Damian, free pass.
Okay, so Lillard has had success in the playoffs. I mean, he's ended two series with a buzzer beater, which is pretty insane. But I understand what you're saying. He's made it to the conference finals once, right?
One time.
Yeah, one time. And
in 10 years.
That was like sort of fluky because that was like a miracle. And
they got swept.
Yeah. Other than that, they're generally like a first or second round exit. And it's an interesting point that guys like Luka or like LeBron or Harden, it's like they get torched if they don't carry their team to a championship every single year. Whereas other guys, you don't hear them get talked about that way. And I think, like you said, we know that LeBron could do that, or people already know that Luka can do that. And so they hold him to that standard. Whereas other guys, we know they can't. So we don't hold him to the same standard.
Curry was getting torched because of his playoff performances while he was winning championships.
Yeah. That's when you know that he's great. Yeah.
Yes, that's the standard that you hold him to.
Yeah.
And look, I understand those two series that Lillard ended at the buzzer. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Really cool. Like it is really cool.
It's amazing.
But you need to do that again in the next round. And then in the next round. And then in the next round. Like you have to
he did disappear in
after that OKC series, he was a non-factor. CJ McCollum won the series against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
So and then against the Golden State Warriors, they got swept. They weren't even a competition for the Warriors. And the Warriors weren't even that good that year.
Yeah.
So but another point I was gonna say about that, and I think I forgot what it was.
Well, I think it's like a sign of respect. That you could take it as a sign of respect.
One of the things,
that people in his third year, people already hold Luka to that standard.
And I think it's funny that these Luka haters, in their reasons why he's not as good, is they compare him to the first 3 years of Durant, LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so the fact that you're even comparing him, like, you never compare Lillard to
No
LeBron.
one does that with Lillard.
Yes.
No one says, well, when LeBron was in his 8th year, he was winning.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's like, no one says that.
No one's comparing Lillard to what LeBron did in his 10th season.
Yeah.
So, but Luka is like, well, LeBron in his 3rd season, their team went to the playoffs. Okay. The second season they didn't, and Luka did.
Thank you for the comparison.
Yeah, or maybe he did. I don't remember anymore. I know they went 500 or something in LeBron's second year. But the point is, the fact that you're even comparing him is showing that you do hold him at least a higher level, because no one's ever comparing. I got so irritated with the whole Lillard thing. Yeah. Because I don't understand why he gets a free pass for not leading his team to at least the finals.
I mean, I think that Lillard should be a perennial all-star. I think he's a great player, especially for what he does in the playoffs. Now, he hasn't had sustained success in the playoffs. I think notably was the series you talked about against the Nuggets and the Warriors, but he's done some really great things. He should be an all-star every year.
So did Luka last year in his first playoff performance.
But I think it's fine for Luka to be voted in as a starter, especially for an all-star, because it's the fans who vote. So, I mean, it is what it is. We voted him in. And then, maybe...
I didn't even vote.
Yeah. Well, and maybe he gets a free pass because he's still young, and so, we let him grow a little bit, and then maybe we hold him to, and he won't be a starter. Who knows? But then also, I think that's a great point, that we hold certain players to a higher standard because we know they can reach those expectations. And when they don't, we're disappointed because they know we can do it. Whereas with other guys, we don't hold them. Like, no one's talking about Zach LaVine or Damian Lillard or Julius Randle or any of these other guys about how they're disappointing, because they don't even
say that about Bradley Beal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Bradley Beal is and it's funny with all those guys that they don't hold to that standard. They always use the excuse of their team. Their team's just not good enough.
They don't do that with LeBron or Dirk.
No.
Or Luka.
Dirk got killed.
Yeah.
Dirk was so good that his teams would win 50 games, but they weren't very good. And so when they were in the playoffs, they got beat because they weren't a very good team. Yeah. He just happened to be really, really good. They would torch him for it.
Yeah, I really like that theory. I think you're onto something. Yep. And I think it is subconscious. I think you're right about that, but I think that's exactly what happens.